friends and vinyl community? It's Brian from Brian's Vinyl Records, and it's Monday, which means it's time for another installment of Vinyl Editions. So this week's kind of fun. I not only won a prize in a contest, which we'll get to in a little bit. That is right here. So we'll be opening that in a little bit. But I also had a 99-cent sale at one of my local record stores that I bought some stuff in. So I'm excited to share those with you. And I picked up a Grail of mine. So excited. So let's get started. First, I want to talk about a couple new albums that I picked up. This first one is Hannah Wicklund and the Stepping Stones. This is their first album, The Stepping Stones. I recently was gifted her second album, which is called Hannah Wicklund and the Stepping Stones, and loved it. It was great. She's bluesy. She's just a great singer, great guitar player, and I really liked it a lot. So I went to her website and picked this up. This is their first album. They only have a few copies left, or I shouldn't say a few. They have limited quantities left of this in stock, and once they're gone, they're gone. So I decided to purchase this and get that so I could have this in there. She also has an EP that is an acoustic EP, and it has songs on there that are from, I believe, both this one and the second album that she does solo as an acoustic type thing. I don't have that yet, but that's on the list of things to buy. Next up, I picked up the new album from Margo Price. Really enjoy Margo Price. So this is the indie exclusive version. It comes with a 180 gram vinyl and a 7-inch in here as well. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that it comes on a special color, but I can't stay 100%. I have not opened it yet. I'm looking forward to playing this week. But Margo Price, that's how rumors get started. I've heard nothing but good things about this album, so I'm really, really excited to finally crack this open and play that. Yeah. All right, let's get into what I picked up at the 99-cent sale. So first, let's talk about the album I picked up that isn't 99 cents. This is Roy Orbison in Dreams, The Greatest Hits. Now, why did I pick this up? Well, first, I love Roy Orbison. But growing up as a kid, my dad had a Roy Orbison compilation called The Greatest Hits. And we listened to that a lot growing up. It was on CD. I actually have the CD now. I think I showed it in my CD update. But what's cool is that that is this album. So this album is the same as the CD that I listened to growing up. The only difference is they put a name on it, In Dreams, for the LP. And they also changed the order on the second half of the album. All the same songs, but they rearranged them a little bit in order of play. The first record here is exactly the same order as the CD is, so I was pumped when I saw this. I picked it up from Mill City Sound. You can see the price tag, $6.99, a good price for this, and I listened to this and it's just fantastic. So a lot of memories associated with this and my dad and the family as we were growing up listening to Roy Orbison. So I picked that up, but here's the haul that I picked up for the 99-cent sale. I'll start with this. This is Steppenwolf, Slow Flux. Dad loves Steppenwolf, so I've always had the greatest hits, but I picked up a couple of their albums in that big box of records I got from his best friend, and so I just decided these were 99 cents. Why not pick these up as well? So Slow Flux and Steppenwolf's. This one is For the Ladies Only. So looking forward to listening to those two albums from Steppenwolf. Got a couple albums from the Outlaws. This first one is called The Outlaws. And the second one I picked up from them is Ghost Riders. I love this cover. It's this Gibson Les Paul guitar. Just really cool. Kind of like in space. Got the Outlaws. What do you want to call it? It's a cow's head up there, but very cool. Pick those up. How about this one? It's Janis Joplin, and this one is called I Got Them Old Cosmic Blues Again. So Janis Joplin. I have Pearl from her, and so now I've got this to add to my Joplin collection as well. This is pretty cool. How about this? The Woodstock 3 LP Woodstock album. They had a bunch of these in there, so I was able to kind of look through the different ones to find which one I thought looked the best. Now the cover's not in the greatest of shape. It's not terrible, but it's not in the greatest of shape. But the LPs in this one were actually in really good shape. So I was happy to go ahead and pick this up. I've not actually heard this before. I know a lot of people have it and really like it, so I'm excited to give this a listen. 99 cents. This one I see a lot of people praise, and I've never heard it, but decided to pick it up. 99 cents. This is Surrealistic Pillow by Jefferson Airplane. MoFi has a version of this out, and I know that Mazzy likes this album quite a bit, so yeah, I thought I'd pick this up and see what all the hype was about. A classic from Guitar Player right here, Jeff Beck's Blow by Blow. I'm really excited to listen to this. Jeff Beck, an amazing guitar player, and so yeah, 99 cents. This one looks great. I mean, it's nice matte finish. It's got a little bit of ring wear, but the album itself, the wax, is in excellent condition, so I could not pass that up. This one again reminds me of my dad, so I picked it up, but I remember we had this, and it all for Sunglasses at Night. So Corey Hart, First Offense, and yeah, it's got the song Sunglasses at Night on it, so couldn't not pick that up. 99 cents. Another Survivor album. This one is Premonition. So I know Emma at A Vinyl Low really likes John Petrucci from Survivor, and I think it's John Petrucci. I might be getting that wrong. Sorry, way off. Jim Petrick. My bad. Sorry, Emma. Jim Petrick from Survivor. She's a big fan of his, and so I have a couple of their albums. I think Vital Signs, and of course Eye of the Tiger, and I might have one more of theirs, and then so now I picked this up as well. 99 cents, can't go wrong here. How about this one? I have no idea what to expect out of this. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose when people do this, but this is a Beatles covers album, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. It's got a lot of songs by the Bee Gees on here, Barry Gibb. It's got Earth, Wind & Fire. It's got Steve Martin of all things. It's got Alice Cooper. It's got Peter Frampton. It's got Aerosmith, Santana. I mean, it's an all-star lineup. So like I said, you can win some and lose some with these Beatles covers albums. I Am Sam is an example of a really good Beatles covers album, but there are some out there that I don't like. So this will be interesting. I'm excited to do that. I looked at it and said, why not? I've seen this in the vinyl community quite a bit on live auctions, and people end up paying, quite a bit of dollars for it. So for 99 cents, yeah, pretty good shape. It's got the corner cut, which I think is why it's sitting in there, but what the heck. Pick this one up. This is a classic I see all the time. Bad Company's Straight Shooter. So I don't have this album. I don't have any Bad Company in my collection, so this is the first one I'll have of theirs in my collection. But this has got a great song on here, Feel Like Making Love. It's just a fantastic song, so looking forward to spinning this and giving Bad Company a listen. And last but certainly not least, we've got Dire Straits Extended Dance Play. So yeah, excited about this. I love Dire Straits. I love the production and all that goes into Dire Straits. Mark Knopfler's a genius, I think, and love his guitar playing. So I don't know what to expect out of this. This has 4 songs, I think, on it. Yeah, 4 songs on here. But for 99 cents, I figured I'd add it to my Dire Straits collection, and really looking forward to enjoying that. All right, I picked one more up at the sale, but I'll save that one for second or to last here before we get to the prize. But this one I found today at Goodwill, or Sunday at Goodwill, and I couldn't pass it up. This brings me right back to my childhood. I mean, when we were growing up, we always had music everywhere. So in the car rides out to my grandma's or wherever we were going, my mom would put on a cassette tape, and this was the cassette tape that she would put on. I was out with my son at Goodwill. We went to buy him a video game, and we were in there, and I was looking through the CDs, found a couple of those, but then this caught my eye just sitting there in the LPs. Now, Goodwill is always hit or miss with LPs, and almost always miss. But this was just sitting there hanging out, and I said, I got to look at it and see. It looks to be in great shape. It's dirty, but a little cleaning should fix that up, and I couldn't pass it up. But this is going to remind me so much of my childhood. This is Bullfrogs and Butterflies. If you don't know this, this is a Christian album for kids. It tells stories of the Bible and things like that. They talk a lot about God and whatever. But growing up, my mom would always play this for us in the car, and I have a lot of great memories associated with this. So couldn't pass it up. I'm so excited to just put this on and sit back and see if I remember a lot of any of it really. But I know the Bullfrogs and Butterflies song always stuck around in my head. So this is a cool one I picked up for nostalgia. Let's get to my Grail. Man, the Mill City is great about putting out videos of things that are going to be in the new arrivals bin. They used to do it every Friday night, and they stopped doing that because people would camp outside all the time and wait for the doors to open to get the things, and other people who couldn't make it on Saturdays because of work and other things, family commitments, would always miss out on some of the great stuff. So they started doing random ones here and there, and that worked out well, but they kind of slowed it down. Then when COVID hit, and they decided to put all their catalog online, or all the new stuff online, and some select what they called Friday night videos or new arrivals online that you could order from their website. They didn't put out their whole used inventory. That would take them forever, as they've got some 70,000 LPs in their stock and their vault and everything else. And so they put this out because of the 99-cent sale. They did a Friday night video, and this was on there, and I saw it and I thought, man, this would be so great. This was up one other time from them on a Friday night video, and unfortunately for me, the next day, that Saturday morning, I had a basketball tournament for my son to attend. So we went to the basketball tournament. They played their game and they won, so they weren't going to play again until Sunday. So I got in the car. They had just been open for approximately 30 minutes at the time the game was over. I called and inquired about this album, and it had already been sold. So I was really bummed. So I saw this that Friday night, and I thought, man, if I could only get there. Now, what they did is what they're planning to do for Record Store Day. They had a 99-cent sale. People line up for those sales all the time. They didn't want people standing in large lines. So what they offered was, starting at 8 o'clock, people could get a number. They would be given the number based on the order that they came. So everyone got a number. 16 people at a time would be allowed to look through the records. There were 4 stations separated by 20 feet, and 4 people could be under each station at a time. You got 30 minutes to look through all the bins that you could, get your 99-cent records, and then go in and pay. The next group would come in then, and they'd do that throughout the day. So every 30 minutes, another 16 people were allowed in to look at the 99-cent sale. So I got the number 40, so I would have been in the third group. So I knew I had some time to kill. I got there at 7:50 and got my number and went and sat in my car for a while. Right before 9 o'clock hit, I figured I would check and see if the front doors would be open for people to go in. I thought that would be a much better way to kill time than sit in my car for an hour, and it was hot and gross. So I went there, the doors were open, I walked in, and I saw it sitting on the holy moly wall, or whatever you want to call it. And I inquired at the guy up front. I said, hey, what do you have this going for? He told me the price that they were selling it for. It was under my typical budget. If anyone knows me, $50 is my max that I typically spend. I've gone over that one time only, and by $5. So it was within my budget, and I said I would like to buy that. And so he said, okay, cool. He went over and made sure everyone who was waiting in line to get into the new arrivals wasn't there to pick up this album. Luckily for me, none of them were. All of them passed on it, and I was able to pick it up. And I'm super excited to have this in my collection. This is AC/DC's Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, the original Australian release from 1976. This release was passed on by the American record companies because they didn't like it. It wasn't until 1981 that this got a release in America, and that was the release that we see today with the cover of the people with the crossed out eyes. This is the original. It has a completely different lineup of songs. The same songs are on here except for a couple here. So on the American version, the song Rocker and the song, there's another song, Love at First Feel. Those 2 songs were added to the album for the American release. Those were replacements for the song R.I.P. Rock in Peace and Jailbreak. Jailbreak would get released in the United States in 1984 on an EP called 74 Jailbreak, but Rock in Peace wasn't released in the United States until they released the Rarities album, which was in the, it must have been the 90s or even 2000s when they finally put that out. So this one was always elusive to people in the States. This is a 1977 repress of the 1976 album, so it's a second pressing of this in Australia, and the median price on Discogs for this right now is around $55. I got it for less than that, and I'm super pumped to have this in my collection. This is super awesome. This is clean. It's gorgeous. There's barely any ring wear to it. The album itself is just beautiful, and it sounds fantastic. So this was a major Grail. I now have the Australian I have High Voltage, I have TNT, and I have this. I need to still find Highway to Hell, and Highway to Hell is really cool, because the only difference in the Highway to Hell from the Australian to the American is the cover, which looks like this. This is a vinyl sticker attached to an album for me that a friend gave me, and this is the difference in the cover. I would love to have this cover of Highway to Hell, and then the other one would be the Let There Be Rock album, which is, if you've ever seen the albums for AC/DC, is the one with the guitar and the fingers on the cover. They have a couple different songs on there. I think Cold Hearted Man is on there, and maybe one other one different from the US release. Those are my pieces that I'd love to get at some point. All right, so excited, pumped, Grail, awesome. Now, Beth at B-Sides had a hidden contest that she did, and that contest was for the movie soundtrack tag that she did. She tried to do a movie soundtrack tag. If you watched it all the way to the end, you would have saw that she was doing a hidden contest in there. I entered that contest. Anyone who did the movie soundtrack tag was entered, and I won. So Beth sent me something from Amazon. So I'm going to open this. It might be a little loud on the camera. I apologize. Let's see what I got. I wasn't actually expecting this. I was thinking that maybe she would have got me the 51st soundtrack or something like that, but this is awesome. AC/DC Who Made Who 2003 Remaster Edition. This is great, Beth. This is fantastic. I have the original pressing of this album, and I've been wanting to add so AC/DC is my favorite band of all time. So my goal is to get not only an early or original pressing of the albums, but also the 2003 remaster editions on there. So this was on my want list from Amazon, which she had asked to see, and man, I'm super pumped because this is such a great album. It's kind of like their original greatest hits album. It has a couple, I think 3 songs on here: Who Made Who, DT, and Chase the Ace. Which those last 2 are instrumentals, are the original songs from the album. The rest are off of some of their other previous albums. You've got Shook Me All Night Long, you've got Sink the Pink, Ride On, Hell's Bells, Shake Your Foundations, and For Those About to Rock, We Salute You. It's an absolutely awesome one, and this is the soundtrack to Maximum Overdrive, a Stephen King movie, which is so bad it's good. I really like that movie a lot. It's just cheesy, and it's really bad, but it's good. You know what I mean. Anyway, Beth, this is fantastic. I now have both versions of this in there. There's a few I still need to get, and I can mark this one off the list. So thank you so much for this. I'm pumped. I'm so pumped. This is awesome. So thank you. Look forward to spinning that this week as well. So that's going to do it for this week. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Vinyl Editions. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. Love to interact with everybody there. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button. Would love to have you along for the ride. Thank you so much to everyone for watching. And until next time, keep spinning vinyl, friends.